Is that cool?
What's up, man? We're back. We are changing some giant turbo parts. I don't know anything about turbos, so that's why I'm here with Andy. Andy is the turbo guy. But I know we're changing something that is going to create more boost and more power.
We're going to change the exhaust housing on this thing. This has a 1.0 exhaust housing on it, and we're going to go to a 1.32 because I got one laying around. We're going to put on what I got to use. You know, use the shit you got laying around in your garage. All right, so we got our two turbo housings here, or turbine housings, I should say, exhaust housings. This is the difference we're going to tell you. The air ratio, this is a 1.32, which will pass more air and have less, less exhaust back pressure. This is going to pass more air out without forcing it through the wheel. This is an AR100. This is going to force more air through this turbine wheel here and drive the turbocharger harder. So hopefully this guy here makes a little more upstairs power. This 132. And if we can get it to spool up on the starting line, it should be faster. We're going to find out Friday night. This stuff's kind of like a black art. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We're going to give it a whirl. So this thing here basically is where the exhaust comes out of the engine, through the headers, into this little housing here, and it squeezes it into the wheel in the center, which is basically a turbine, and it goes across the shaft and it drives the compressor wheel in the front. So this thing here squeezes a good bit of the exhaust into that turbine before it can pass out the tailpipe. So what I'm hoping to do is put a bigger housing on there that will allow more exhaust to pass the turbine and just shoot up the tailpipe, which is going to be harder to build boost in the starting line, but should have less back pressure later on in the run. We've been working on this car now for about 3 months, and the harder I push it, the slower it seems to go. So it's leading me to believe there's something clogging this bitch up. So the more boost I make, the car doesn't seem to pick up any speed. So if I can get rid of exhaust pressure and pick up that boost, maybe the car will go faster. So we're going to tear this turbocharger apart, Dave and I. I'm going to try the other housing. If it works, we're going to put it on the car. This is our Donor 106. This turbocharger was on my Pro Mod car from 2009 to 2014. I won a shitload of races with this thing. I set a bunch of records with this thing. When we broke the 3-second barrier, this is the turbo that was on the car. When we broke the 5-second barrier in 2009, we were the first small block power door slammer to go 5s. This is our turbocharger. It's a turboantics unit. These guys build the toughest stuff you can imagine. And we tortured this thing for years, and it hung right in there. I got a 109 in the car now they built me, so this has been laying around collecting dust. We're going to use this exhaust housing on the Nova, see if we can pick up some power. Speed and ET. If it'll work, we're going to try it out, see if we can go faster.
Okay, so let's back up. So what we didn't say is let's tell them what car we're working on.
We're using the Nova for a guinea pig again. This thing here is our guinea pig race car. We built this to show people, this to kind of showcase our medium performance turbo engines. We have the high-end turbo engines like in the Pro Mod. We have our pump gas engines like we run on the Willys. This showcases our medium performance turbo engines. This thing makes somewhere in the neighborhood of anywhere from 12 to 2200. You can make this depending on your turbocharger.
2200 horsepower. Yeah, that's in horsepower. That's
yeah, medium performance. Yeah,
and that's medium, right? That's
right.
Medium. I like that. So cubic inches.
This is 555 cubes, all aluminum engine, Brodix block, Brodix heads. It's a very basic engine. The heads aren't even ported on this thing. Everybody talks about ported and polished heads. This is an as-cast cylinder head to keep the cost down. It's a cast block. It's a forged crank. Not a real high-end piece. You can build this engine somewhere in the neighborhood of $20,000, which is pretty economical for something that makes that kind of power. The power is pretty much in your turbocharger.
I gotta tell you guys, if you get a chance, you have to get to the track. This car has been a showstopper all summer long. I mean, it's got a headliner in it, the factory dash.
This
the car is amazing.
Car, man. It's a street car. It's got chrome trim everywhere, just like a 66 Nova would have on it. It looks like a 12-second car until you turn the thing loose, man. Then it hauls ass. Carries that front tire the whole way on the track. It's awesome to drive.
I love it. It sounds awesome. It looks awesome. So let's tear it apart. Like Andy said, we're changing some turbo parts. We're going from a 1.0 to a 132.
Exhaust housing. Yep. See if we can make some more power.
I may at least make it sound like I know what I'm talking about.
All right. Let's start throwing wrenches, guys. There we go. There we go. That's free. I hope this works, Carson. All right. One more bolt in this exhaust housing. I'm going to try to get out. Slide the housing off. We'll see if our bigger housing fits. If it fits, we're going fast, man. He's in trouble here. Never easy, man. Nothing ever goes like it's supposed to.
There you go. There you go.
That's your housing. So we took a turbo housing we had laying around. This is also a 1.0 housing, and we painted it silver so you guys can see how everything works with this deal. It made it easier to see how the air goes through it. And the air goes into this hole right here at the exhaust. Comes through the headers, through a Y pipe if you have a single turbo, into this hole, and it gets forced around like a snail. It gets forced around here, and you see as it goes, it gets smaller. So as it goes around this path, it gets shoved into the wheel on the turbocharger, the turbine wheel, which spins the shaft that drives the compressor. So you can see here, this slot and the size of the opening is going to be bigger than the one we put in, so it's going to allow more air to pass out the exhaust hole on this side, and less air will get forced through the turbine. So it's not going to drive as hard in the starting line or early in the run, but it should free up some exhaust energy out the back of the track and have less back pressure, which the engine breathes better. Should go faster. It's kind of like putting headers on your car and over exhaust manifolds. It's going to breathe a little better at higher RPMs. We're going to try it. It may or may not work. We're going to find out Friday. We're going to get our big 132 housing off a 106. I have a 106 turbo in the back. We're going to rob a 132 housing off of that and put it on here. This is the wheel I'm talking about. You've never seen a turbocharger apart. This is the exhaust wheel. It's kind of cruddy because it's got exhaust going through it. But the air gets forced through this deal here and spins it, and it drives the shaft, which turns the compressor on the other side in the front here. So your exhaust is turning this, the shaft goes through the bearing housing and drives the compressor. The compressor pulls air in and shoves it in the motor. So the more you shove in, the more it spits out. The more you shove in, the more it spits out. It just kind of snowballs, and pretty soon you're going like hell, man. Let's get our turbocharger apart.
All right, so remember, you got to let us know what kind of stuff you guys like. You know, we've had a lot of requests here. You know, some people want hot rods, some people want tech tips, some people want garage stuff. So this is a pretty cool process here, you know, changing out this exhaust piece for the turbo. I don't know a lot about turbos, so I'm learning quite a bit tonight. So, you know, message us. You can email us right from the YouTube page, or put a comment up there and let us know what you're interested in. You know, we gotta start collecting data here so we can bring you guys what you want.
Give them what they want, Dave. That makes happy customers.
Hey, you'll know, we are putting this thing together for Friday night. Quick 8 at Numidia. That is the Jensen sponsored. Fastest 8 cars there, right?
Quickest 8 street cars on the property get in. This is going to be the fastest one, man. I'm telling you right now, we're hauling ass this Friday. A big turbocharger. Woo!
All right, we'll see you there.
All right. We got our turbocharger figured out here. We're going to throw it back together and take it to the track on Friday, see how fast it goes. Drag racing.